Greetings, fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers, and I've just received some new goodies from the wonderful folks at Battle Systems Limited. They make the game Core Space, one of my favourite tabletop miniatures games. It's sci-fi, it's ship crews in space, getting gear and fighting the Purge, which are a sort of robot alien menace. There's all kinds of things happening. I love it. It's a really, really good game, and they've been kind enough to send me some new stuff. So let's have a look at it, shall we? First up, let's check out the Dangerous Days book. This is the brand new book for Core Space, and it's got a heap in it. It's actually set in, well, a slightly later universe than the original game, and in the Advanced Deluxe rulebook, which was the hardcover rulebook that came out, you had the Perseus Arm campaign. Well, the campaign in this book follows on from that one, and the universe has become a bit darker, a bit more dangerous, a bit more post-apocalyptic. So, interesting stuff. So, it starts off with some rules to represent the fact that things are a bit tougher. So this book is assuming that you're, a little bit more experienced in games of Core Space, and you're looking for some slightly tougher challenges, and things are a bit more anarchic and a bit more difficult to get equipment and stuff like that. You've got some new NPCs, the Scavengers. You've got civilian workers and the Rogue Purge, which are actually, rogue members of the alien race called the Purge, who are going off and doing their own independent, self-aware kind of thing. I'll show you the sets that have these figures in them soon, but these are the rules for them all. Also, you can have trader crews made up of Rogue Purge, which is interesting. So many options in this game. Special rules for new stuff and new terrain. So there's, all kinds of specific things that happen with that terrain, temporary cover. And then we get on to the campaign, the Dangerous Days campaign. As I said, this follows on from the campaign in the Deluxe rulebook. So many games here already, and you can play them together as an extended campaign. Also, a lot of them are co-op, so they work solo as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that it? 8 games there in that campaign. That'll keep you going for forever. Look at the size of that one. A huge map there. You need a big table for that one. That'd be great. Then we've got a Core Space painting guide. Check out my painted Core Space miniatures as well to give you some ideas. And then we've got a whole lot of other missions here as well. There's just so many missions for you to play. These are all extra ones. They've got a number of players. It tells you how many expansions you need for each one. There's a huge map there. Look at that. So much variety, so many different terrain setups. It's just fantastic. And if you have some of the expansions, it gets even more interesting. So look at that. Huge amounts of stuff. Look at this board setup. I mean, that is quite incredible. There's a day's worth of gaming there. Probably take you half a day to set up, but it's going to be a fantastic game. Look at the map. There's an FAQ for Core Space, which is always handy, of course, because the game's been out for a while. And some advanced rules, FAQs, new skills, a reference for all the item attributes. What a chock-a-block book. So many scenarios in there, not only the campaign, but extra scenarios as well. Definitely worth having for the dedicated Core Space fan. So let's have a look at these new boxes. Shift Change at Megacore is a civilian pack, so we've got new civilians in here. And not only are they new civilians, but there's also workers, which go about their business, and scavengers attempting to loot the area before you can. So there's different types of civilians. And then the aforementioned Rogue Purge, which are new rogue figures, independent rogue figures. Let's have a look at the civilians first. So here's our little rule book. And you can see some of this information. This looks similar to what comes in Dangerous Days, describing civilian workers, and some more scenarios as well. They just really churn out the scenarios, which I just think is great. You get a whole lot of variety in your games. So lots of useful info there. New event cards, of course. Every expansion pack comes with new event cards. Of course, adding even more variety to your games and more interesting things that can happen as you play. You had one job. And then we've got the miniatures, and interestingly, they're resin figures now, which is unusual. And even resin bases. That's a change. I don't know if they're doing shorter print runs or why, but resin gives you a lot more detail, so this should be good. They're very detailed, separate arms and legs. Wow. And yes, look at the detail. It's just stunning. I'm actually really pleased these are resin because you get a lot more detail out of these than you do for plastic, and that's just beautiful. Of course, various arms will have to be added. Wow, these are actually putting the original plastic ones to shame, but the detail here is stunning. Great little robot. One of the things I love about Core Space is that it's, kind of straight sci-fi. It's much more like Firefly than, the crazy gothicness of Warhammer 40,000 or even Star Wars. Well, it's got a bit of a Star Wars feel, but really Firefly is the film and TV image that I associate with it the most. Lovely figure there. He'll be needing a head and arm. You can see the resin is really crisp and clean because that arm joint there is just a lovely perfect square, so that's probably going to go in really nicely. And a lovely dynamic pose for this one. Just to show you what they look like constructed, here's the image from the back of the box. And we've got a mixture of sort of rogue-like scavenger figures and workers. So it adds a lot of character to your games with these people doing their thing in the background as you raid the boxes for gear and try and kill your enemies. Now, also in the bottom of the box is a generous number of counters. Another thing I love about Core Spaces are these expansions because, they're not just figure sets. They come with all the necessary counters. Sometimes the larger expansion sets come with extra terrain. So, you feel like you're adding to your universe every time you buy one of these expansions. Oh, I'm really itching to play again. Actually, it's a great game. Right, next up the Rogue Purge. And these figures look great. Let's have a look at them on the back. Really expanding the definition of the Purge race, which is great. And of course, I'm going to mention the Kickstarter, which is now up, and I'll tell you all about it at the end of this video, but there's a whole new race to explore as well. Here are all the counter sheets you get with this one. And lots of detail there. Lots of new items as well, which is exciting. Some more event cards. Here's the necessary rules. And again, a lot of this stuff is in Dangerous Days, but Dangerous Days gives you all those extra adventures as well. Let's have a look at the figures. Now, interesting they give you resin bases, but actually what I do when I've done for my figures is to mount the figures on clear acrylic bases, because then the bases don't cover up the lovely artwork on the terrain tiles. So again, very happy to see multi-part resin here and all that lovely detail. Look at this guy, isn't he great? That tattered robe is really good. These really do have that post-apocalyptic vibe. This guy's got a bit of a chunk of resin, a couple of chunks of resin there. I'll just have to cut off carefully with a scalpel. Just a little bit of construction required, of course, with super glue. The thing I like about these miniatures is that they have so much character. They look like they've got a long backstory and a lot of stuff has happened to them. And there are your other pieces. So some fantastic new stuff for Core Space. A really good game. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to get into it, there's a brand new Kickstarter campaign running right now. In fact, it's got about 2 weeks to go. It's called Core Space Firstborn. It's a brand new starter set, a brand new core set, and it comes with an expansion built into the pledge. So you get a whole lot of content straight away. It's about a new race called the Firstborn, and you're exploring these ancient catacombs and you awaken this alien race, which, doesn't work out well because they're a bit kind of mad. But it looks like really great sci-fi core space fun. It's got a campaign in it, which is specially designed for one crew, so you can play co-op and solo. Now, personally, I find the player versus player element of core space one of its most satisfying elements. I really like the fact that you can backstab the other player, you can start cooperating, then you can betray them, or you can just go in hacking into each other straight away. That's all fun. You can do that as well, because the great thing about Core Space is that it allows for games all the way from solo up to 6-player versus player stuff. So there's a whole lot of variety, and as you can see, even just looking in this book, lots and lots of scenarios. So a brand new set, and of course all the terrain and everything that comes in it is fully modular and works with all the existing Core Space stuff. So there's a huge universe here to explore. I highly recommend you go check out that Kickstarter, Core Space Firstborn. Just Google that and it'll pop up. And go check it out, because Core Space is a lot of fun. And yes, they have sent me this stuff, but I'm a big supporter of them because the game is great. And I played it several times and really, really enjoyed it. And I've got to play it some more and, in fact, do another battle report so you can see how much fun it is. But do check out my existing battle report because you can see what a good time we have with the game. Well, that's it for the moment, and thanks very much for watching the Esoteric Order of Gamers. And I should mention that at my website, orderofgamers.com, you'll find a rules summary and reference for Core Space. And I'll be updating that with the FAQ in this book and making sure everything's up to date. So download that and you'll find it even easier to play and enjoy. Please subscribe, check out the website and social media and all that stuff, and I'll see you next time.